Hey guys, welcome to the Holby Homestead. Woo!
That's too much. Okay.
So Dave, why does the dog have a t-shirt on?
I don't know. That's a good question. Because tie-dye is awesome.
First of all, where did we get the shirt from?
Our friend Hippie Chick Tie-dye. Yep.
Yeah, Cheryl at Hippie Chick Tie Dye.
Yep.
So why did we get the shirt?
Because it looks cool, and just for a little bit more visibility.
Because she looks like a coyote.
Yes. Or a wolf.
And it's hunting season.
Yes. And it looks better than a vest.
Yeah. She seems to like it. She doesn't seem to be trying to get it off or anything.
Well, she's weird like that.
Okay guys, a bit of a depressing topic, but it's got to be talked about. I wanted to talk to you guys, especially if you're thinking about buying your first house, or maybe you've bought a few houses like we have and kind of been through the ringer. But I want to talk about Homestead Horrors. It's close to Halloween, so it's a perfect topic.
Yes.
Anyways, so I guess I'm gonna start off telling some past stories that we gone through, and then talk about the current horror that's facing us. Yeah. I bought my second house. Now I won't say names or people. I'm gonna be very generic here because I don't want to call people out on YouTube. You know how it is. So, my second house, the day after that I moved in, I went to go run a load of laundry. The sewage backed up from the tub drain and sprayed my bathroom and filled the tub. So,
Fun times.
because it was a small town and everybody knew everybody and the previous owners were quite popular people, it was quite easy to get a hold of them and find out what was going on, and they completely denied it. They had 4 or 5 kids, and they claimed to run 20 loads of laundry a day, never had that issue, and all that stuff. So when this happened, it happened around midnight, so I had to put out an emergency call for a plumber. And so $500 later, the plumber didn't have the right equipment, but he showed up anyways, and he couldn't diagnose the problem, so still had to pay for that. So that was $500 there. Second guy who had the right equipment, you needed like a like a drain camera thing.
Yeah, camera.
And he figured out that because his house was in the town, that the sewage line that was leaving the house had roots growing through it from trees that were along the side of the house. And so basically, that doesn't happen overnight, even if you don't know much about it. That happens over years, and that problem doesn't just suddenly come up. That's an ongoing problem.
Yep.
So, long story short, I don't want to get into the details of this, but spoke to a lawyer, and at that time kind of decided that you can't really get blood out of a stone. And it appeared that they didn't have any money, extra money left over, that is. So I bit the bullet and paid $12,000 to have the front yard excavated. The side yard had some trees that had to be cut down. So a whole new sewer line had to come from the house. Like they had to go right down to the foundation and bring it out that way, all the way across my front lawn. I didn't have water or indoor toilets for a week. I was using a Johnny on the spot in the driveway. It was not nice. And then the local building inspector, the municipal building inspector, right before it was all done, he decided to come in and shut it all down. And so that was another delay. So this was a ongoing thing that lasted a few days, a couple weeks, and it was awful. It was expensive. To this day, that previous owner actually denies any wrongdoing on his part. And I know a lot of people watching this are probably going to say, you should have talked to a lawyer and taken him to court and blah, 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 and all this stuff. But, you know, that takes money. It takes time. It had to be fixed. It's not like I could have left it and waited until the court agreement, right? So, okay, so I've got lots of stories, really, but I'm just going to share a few here. So, the next kind of, struggle that we had many, was we had an offer on another house, and it was a conditional offer on my house being sold, and we found a buyer for my old house, and, he signed the contract. It was a very quick closing, like within about 4 weeks we would have moved into that other house. And so we started packing. This guy told us and our real estate agent not to worry about money, that his parents had money, he could get a loan, he's got perfect credit, no problem, don't worry about it. So we packed. We packed up half the house.
Yep.
And 2 weeks before the closing date, maybe a little bit less, actually.
I think it's about a week.
Yeah, it was about yeah. So we're talking that close in time. Everything was arranged, like movers, bills, whatever. And he kept renewing his contract for financing because it was over Christmas holidays. There were some, long weekends and Christmas, and, so it seemed justifiable that he was delaying because it was hard to get into a bank or whatever. So we didn't think anything of it because, he really assured us that everything would be okay financially. And I mean, generally when somebody says that, you kind of believe them, But anyways, don't.
Won again.
Yeah. So yeah, a few days before our closing date, he announced that he couldn't get funding and backed out. Just totally backed out. We had to drop the deal with the house. So we had half the house packed up, and now we had to find a new buyer for our house, and we had to find a new house, which, between you and me, I'm so glad that we didn't go with that other house. We went with this one because this one is way better and it worked out. But still, it's the stress of moving.
Yes.
Moving is
Some people don't have problems with moving. And they have a perfect move, but ours it was just one thing after another, and it was comical, really.
Yeah, well, we moved right before the lockdown with COVID. So we had trouble finding movers. Our movers actually didn't move everything out of the house, so thankfully we had a carryover of a few days because otherwise we would have been screwed.
Yes.
So we ended up moving most of our stuff ourselves because this professional moving company underestimated how much of trucks and stuff that we needed. So, so that was terrible. So that takes us to
This house.
this house. So during the process, we had trouble getting a passable well test. So that's an issue that if you're buying a place out in the country, you really need to think about. Because if you're getting a loan, the bank will not approve a house with bad water. So that was kind of our first issue here. But it did get sorted, so it wasn't like the end of the world type thing. And then when we moved in, we realized that the roof was leaking,
Yeah, but that wasn't.
and we
wasn't-
dealt with it. I
Yep.
mean, like you saw on the videos, we did some work up there, so it was kind of planned to deal with it anyways. So if you're hearing a lot of grunting, the dogs are rolling around on the grass in front of us, so that's what that is. So the roof, and then also we have to insulate the attic, which we already knew about, so I wouldn't really call it a problem, but it was something that we had to kind of preserve in our budget.
Yep.
And then we ran out of water in the summertime.
Yeah, that's due to me leaving the tap on, though.
Yeah, but it's still, so now we have a cistern in the basement, and we figured it out so that we'd never run out of water again.
Yep.
And so anyways, while we were getting this cistern put in, that is when we discovered that our furnace is in a very sad state. Like I said, I don't want to get into too many details here, but that we had a home inspector, and he said he could guarantee us 8 good years with that furnace, and that around 5 years start looking for another furnace. So it is an oil furnace. We wanted a propane one, so we just kind of thought we'll
just switch it when we're
when it's
when
time.
it's done. Yeah.
So because of that, we didn't really save in our budget to do that.
Kinda.
So anyways, the furnace shouldn't be used.
Basically.
Yeah, it's dangerous. And there's nobody really accountable for it at this point. Other than, so here's a little tidbit of information. If you're buying a country lot that has propane or oil or that's not hooked up to like town utilities, you have to get this thing called a TSSA certificate. Don't ask me what that stands for. Google it, because I don't remember right offhand. So this TSSA is a furnace inspection that verifies that the furnace can be sold in its condition that it is.
It's in good working order, basically.
Yes, and that the oil tank is proper and not leaking, all those environmental things, blah, blah, blah. So the home inspector said it was okay. Mm-hmm. The TSSA says that it's okay. However, the furnace is not okay.
Nope. We need a new one.
Yeah. And a new one is, like $10,000 or more. Without going into too many details, after my experience with the sewage in my last house, I think that we do need to consult legal advice on this, because it is against the law. Doesn't matter what anybody tells you. It is against the law to sell deficient things in your house. For example, let's say my furnace at my old house just died. It just quit, either the day before the new owner took possession or that day. Who's responsible for it? Not that new owner. I am. And you sign pieces of paper that make sure that you are liable for things to be in good working order up until possession is over. Now the thing is, we didn't catch this furnace problem because it was the beginning of summer, and it was
Yeah, and if we were going by our home inspector
yeah,
that said that it was good, and I never really looked into it until
because you
earlier
assume
today.
that if you pay a lot of money for a home inspection, which we did, that you would actually get a legit one. And that didn't happen. So, of course, all of the horror stories are running through my mind of what else could be wrong here, but it's okay because we love this house still, and it's perfect.
Yeah, it's a minor setback, but in the long run, it's gonna be better for us because it's gonna be a brand new
yeah,
furnace, and
yeah.
it's just a minor setback. But it's going forward, it will be good.
Yeah, we just need to figure out what our rights are, what our rights aren't, and I'm sure a lot of you guys watching this probably feel the way we do, that you should consult a lawyer or a law professional, because you know, buying and selling houses is a very complicated thing. It's anything and everything could go wrong. Just a quick story for you. My first house, the day before the people who were supposed to do their home inspection that were buying my house, I lived in a rough neighborhood in a big city. So the night before this big inspection that was going to lift the conditions of the contract, meaning that, you know, it was for sure going to be bought by these people, somebody broke in to the house and smashed the front window. So here I am apologetically at this home inspection that this buyer was having, like being like, okay, I'm sorry, you know, this is really fluke thing. And so what I had to do was I had to make a little deal kind of right then and there with them that the window was going to be replaced. It was a custom window, so it took a couple of weeks for it to be built and installed. But I had to kind of make a secondary draw up on a contract that I was going to be responsible and liable for this window. So, and that's the right thing to do. You don't just ignore it and sell the place and leave other people with your problems.
Yep.
Yeah. So anyways, Homestead Horrors. It's the perfect time of year because it's Halloween, but we're not talking about ghosts.
Yeah.
And we're not talking about the boogeyman. We're talking about scary things that go wrong with your house. So anyways, if you're looking to buy for the first time, or if you bought houses a few times, always make sure if you don't understand something, you have somebody else that can help you with that, because there's so many things.
Yep.
Anyways, guys, I'm going to wrap it up here. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, like, comment. Actually, I want to hear from you guys if you've had a horrible homestead purchasing experience. Comment, whatever. Let me know. I want to hear these stories, so, because I know we're not the only ones that it's happened to.
Yep.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Yeah. So anyways, see ya.
Bye.